G'day guys, Sim here and welcome to another league racing video. Now, as you can see, this one is at Austria for AFR Season 5 Tier 2. And all I can say about this one is it was a pretty painful race, I'm not gonna lie. I was seriously tossing up whether I was actually gonna make a video for this one or not. But you'll notice in the top left corner there, we've loaded into the session and we're already only have 9 minutes left in qualifying session. Now that's because I was having some internet issues before the start of the race. I'd actually marked my attendance as not attending because I didn't think it was going to fix itself, and then 5 minutes into the start of quali it actually got going. So we were able to join late, but as we go on to our one and only qualifying lap that we managed to do, we got a decent exit out of turn 1, maybe could have gotten a bit better run through there, a little bit of wheel spin on exit, and not a terrible run through turn 3 here. Maybe could have gotten on the power a little bit earlier or a little bit more smoothly there, a little bit of wheel spin in the second phase of our exit out of there, but you know, can only do so much. It was the only lap we had. Turn 4, not terrible either, a lot better traction than we got out of turn 3. It's not the easiest to get traction out of there, but we managed to do it decently. Probably very safe through these two left-handers here. Setting a purple middle sector apparently. I don't know how legitimate that was, knowing that the game does bug out with the sector times occasionally. And then coming around these final few corners now, probably could have been a little bit more aggressive through the second last corner and probably took the final corner a little bit safely as well, but overall, not a terrible lap, and it was good enough at the time for P5, and by the end of the session, P6. So given I'd only set up my wheel like 3 minutes before I set that lap, pretty much, I wasn't unhappy with that. But as we load into the grid, there's something actually gone very wrong with the game. As we look at our dashboard as we load in, you can see we've loaded in P18. We're stuck there. We have to start the race in P18, which wasn't great, but I decided I'd just make the most of it. So, getting ready now for 5 red lights, and we get a decent start, starting on the mediums, so one of the few cars on the mediums around us, and we try and take it relatively safe into turn 1. You'll see, we just get the slightest bit of contact there from Nut going around the outside of us. As we flick over to our damage, we've got lime damage on the left-hand end plate there. So, not terrible, but it is going to have an effect on the rest of our race. Not a massive effect, but it will be noticeable as a serious amount of front wing there goes flying across our screen from the McLaren of 40 there. But yeah, that lime damage is going to sort of be a little bit of an issue here. So coming on to the end of lap 1 now, you can see we're not being hampered too much by that damage. We've still got a decent pace through the corners. It's a little bit heavy to turn, but you know, we're getting good enough exits that we can at least go for some overtakes here. So getting past 40 there into turn 1, he gets a better run on us, but we do actually have the slipstream and plenty of overtake to be able to defend this position at least for now. And we think about going for something, but yeah, we're just nowhere near far enough up here for any sort of move there, so happy to leave it as Nut unfortunately spins around there. So that was another position at this point. And we're up to P14, I believe, now P12, so not looking terrible for us at this point. We're doing quite well so far, actually. But watching this footage here now, you'll notice that the picture does unfortunately break up. I think my stream sort of died for a second here, so it's a little bit iffy. Oh my god. But if we listen in, unfortunately I broke a little bit too deep, not expecting the cars in front to slow down as much as they did, and gave myself some orange wing damage. I tried to push on for a bit. As you can see, we're closing in on Keeper here. Really trying to push in, but we're skipping on through the laps now. See, we're not setting terrible laps, green sectors each lap. We're definitely being hampered by the orange damage a little bit. But at the end of lap 5, we get a virtual safety car, and I thought, you know what, I need to get rid of this damage. I'm going to pit in, and hopefully at least save some time with getting rid of this wing. But unfortunately, just as we come into the pits, the safety car does end, so we really gained no time out of it. We did have to pit because that damage was hampering us a little bit more than I would have liked. So unfortunately, we're dropping all the way down back into P18. So back where we started essentially, but at least now we have a fresh new wing to at least push a little bit with. So hopefully we can make something of it and close in on a few positions and maybe recover for points, hopefully. But the next few laps, end of lap 8, you know, decent lap time. Lap 9, decent lap as well, and a safety car is actually called. So this was perfect for us. We could get off of the mediums onto some hard compound tires and just go to the end of the race. We'd be back on the end of the train of cars, and you know, back within a chance of scoring points. But as we exit the pit lane, I had a complete brain fart. I basically did a Grosjean, and as we go into the turn, I lock up the rears, half spin, and we've got orange damage again. So I also didn't have another set of hards. So at this point, I would have had to go mediums all the way to the end. So what we did was I pitted for mediums, went around for another lap, pitted back onto the hards, got my wing replaced, and as we head on now, safety car is in on the end of lap 12. So at this point, we're hoping to go to the end. You can see on the map down there, the train of cars just going around into the start of the third sector now, so trying to catch up to the back of them. We should at least have warm tyres, having caught up to the back right at the end here. So ready for a really good restart here, trying to be patient, and as you'll see, it looks to me that everyone in front is starting to accelerate, but they don't. And like, this was nobody's fault. This was just a matter of everyone being confused as to what was going on.
I was like, I can't go until everyone else
You can
goes. hear
the race so far has been absolutely horrendous for me. I'm pretty much fuming. It probably wasn't the appropriate reaction to what happened, given for the most part it was my fault there. I just read what was going on with the cars in front completely wrong, and yeah, another broken wing. So once again, we're forced to pit and now also serve a 5-second penalty for that collision, given it happened under safety car. So this is just further accentuating how badly this race is going. Yeah, it started off badly and it's just getting worse and worse, but now we're basically just going to try and take the mediums to the very end. We're down in P18 again. The last car on track that is actually still in the race, Mika unfortunately DNFing. So now we're just going to cycle through the laps, watch our pace. Artemis was also forced to pit as well, so he was in the lead of the race, unfortunately copped some damage, so he's just in front of us a bit. We don't have a delta to him for some reason, unfortunately. But yeah, we're trying to at least set a somewhat decent pace over these next few laps. You know, try and salvage something, at least something with confidence based that I had good pace, despite everything else going wrong. You'll see we're slowly closing in on Keeper in front every lap. Couple of guys pit, 40 and Psycho. I come out in front of Psycho, behind 40 though, and as you can see, we can just see him in the distance now on lap 23. So slowly closing in and potentially having an opportunity to move up a place or two in the next few laps. And unfortunately, we got 6 seconds of pens now as well. But you can see we're really close on lap 25, and on lap 26, we've actually managed to get into DRS. We've got pretty much no ERS, and we've got, I think, a lap of extra fuel, so not terrible. But you can see 40 gets compromised here through turn 1 by Keeper being in front of him. So we get a really good run out of that corner. We took a warning doing it. We try to go around the outside of Keeper, get squeezed a little bit, and 40 goes up the inside, taps Keeper wide.
Oh my god, are you fucking with me?
Unfortunately, more damage for this race. At this point, you know, it was just done. But on lap 29 now, we've at least managed to catch back up to 40. We do have that significant damage still. I'm not confident that I'm going to catch him, but the tyres at this point are pretty much dead. And as we push through turn 1 here, we lose the back end, dropping the rear left, and that's the end of it.
Not worth it.
And yeah, that reaction pretty much summed up that race for me.
wasn't salvageable,
yeah,
dude.
Trin
save the car.
Trin wasn't happy with me. Like, I didn't intentionally DNF or anything like they at the time they thought, because, you know, it seemed like it with my reaction. I definitely didn't. Like, I was just, you know, unlucky. But unfortunately, safety car restart, we told Trin to stay out on the hards, everyone else behind him pitted on soft, so that was a mistake by us, and on the safety car restart, he's really sort of panicking a bit. We were trying to calm him down, but hopefully here he gets a really good restart and can just defend. People behind have pens, but unfortunately he just dropped it out of the final corner.
Dude.
And yeah, you can hear his reaction as well. And, you know, we tried, you know, we made a mistake as well, telling him to stay out on the hard. So yeah, just all out Williams, just a bit of a mess, pretty much Ferrari-like plan here. We're coming on to the final few laps here. At least we have a good battle between Skins, Jacob Meister, and Pondon. Pondon actually on for his first podium here, so we're gonna watch the rest of this race. At least the majority of the final lap, I believe, the final 2 laps. So skipping here to halfway through lap 35, Pondon right on the back of Jacob Meister, so really pressuring him here. I believe Skins in front has penalties whilst Pondon did not, so Pondon was in the box seat here at this point to get the win. Jacob also, I think, had penalties as well from memory. But this battle between the two of them was actually pretty mad over the last 2 laps, so yeah, we're just going to watch the rest of this. Yeah, Pondon really closing in on the back of Jacob through these final couple of corners here. Really setting himself up well for a potential overtake on the next lap. Really maximizing his exits out of the final corner here. Using the DRS. Or not using the DRS. I don't think DRS was activated yet at this point. But he gets a really good run through the first corner here. And he's right on the back of him. DRS active, overtake as well, I believe, and absolutely flies past Jacob here to take that position. But it didn't end there. Pondon doesn't get the greatest exit, neither does Jacob really. But you'll see that DRS is really powerful here. And as we go into the braking zone, the turn 4, just see Jacob just popping his nose in there, getting far enough in, and getting a really good exit out of turn 4. So the two of them side by side into the middle sector, or the end of the middle sector, and Jacob actually gets it done around the outside. Pondon looking to go for the inside there still, but sensibly backing out of it, knowing he already really had the position anyway on penalties. And as we go through the final 2 corners here, it's pretty mad. Pondon actually managed to get his first ever win in AFR, so props to that. Props to the dude. He's put a lot of practice in, and really, you got to still be there in order to win the race. Like, you know, pace doesn't matter if you're going to be DNFing. But yeah, that's the end of that race. It was an absolute shitter for me and for Williams in general. Pretty much everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But anyway, on to the next race. I should have that video done soon. If you want to tune in and watch that, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on so you don't miss the upload. And head over to my Twitch channel. I will be streaming, I think Belgium is the next race that we're almost up to. So I'm a long way behind on videos, but head over to Twitch if you want to watch that. But thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully you have a good one.